This was insane to witness for the Broncos. Another walk-off win against the Texans. Another up-and-down game, fourth quarter magic. Bo leave, T-Bo, if you want to say. But man, did they earn this 7-2 record and the two-game lead they now have on the division. Good times to be a Broncos fan. And, I mean, in terms of your heart, though, we deserve some compensation, Broncos fans. But I'm Sebastian from Broncos Digest. Welcome back, everybody. Sorry about the late reaction to the game, but man, as soon as the Broncos game was over, we went right into the Bills Chiefs game, and we all know how that went. Thank you, Bills. But man, it's one of wonderful, one of the best victory Mondays in a while, and similar on the plane of the Giants Broncos victory Monday, because just I think it's the lead in the division we have now. Things are seeming like they're going back to normal for the Broncos. We're back to our winning ways. We're finding ways to win no matter what it takes. And I'm just thrilled to have this team and to be part of this fan base. That's really we went through the ringer since 2015, and it feels like we deserve this. So let's just jump right into it. Make sure to subscribe, comment, like, all that good stuff. Tell us how you're feeling, Broncos Nation, Broncos Country. Really, really excited just to, break down this team and follow this team. Tied for the best record in the NFL right now after the Colts loss. So it's just exciting times, man. Exciting. Honestly, we should be 9-0. We should, at the very least, 8-1. But we'll take 7-2. It's it is what it is. But man, here we go. So Sean Payton, right after the game, said, "I don't think there was a person in that locker room at halftime that felt like we were losing this game. Sack differential first in the league, scoring differential first in the league in terms of the fourth quarter point differential. It would be a league record right now." Like, dude, it's insane. Look at us right now. We're a game ahead of the Chargers. They did manage to squeak by the Titans. So Chargers fans, we don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear you saying, "Oh, well, you barely survived against the Titans in week one." First of all, week one is always weird. And two, now you just barely survived against the Titans. So, and that's after they fired their head coach. So whatever, dude. Whatever. I don't care anymore. So listen, I know the Chargers are dealing with their injuries. Joe also went down with an injury. So you hope for the best for him and for all of that situation. We'll see how they're able to recover from that stuff in terms of our next matchup. But in the meantime, huge win for the Broncos over the Texans. Now, C.J. Stroud did go down with an injury in the first half. It was not an illegal hit. They at first threw a flag because he slid. There was a hit there at the end, but it was really kind of incidental, last second type of thing. And then they realized it wasn't like a helmet contact. He hit with his shoulder, so there was no flag. A lot of people are still calling it dirty because it's Sean Payton. Broncos hate, or whatever you want to call it. We obviously hope CJ Stroud's okay. Maybe it was a concussion. He did not return to the game, so it was Davis Mills for most of the game. But overall, I think the Broncos defense, once again, the story of the game, outstanding. The goal line stands, they didn't allow a touchdown. Once again, I think it's the fourth time this season. They are unbelievable, and this is a championship caliber defense. This is best defense against best defense. Like, two of the best defenses in the league going up against each other, and the Broncos prevailed. Say what you want about the offense, and we will, trust us, but this story to me is about the defense. Dre Greenlaw on those goal line stands was crucial, was amazing. He brings that fire, that juice, that energy. You could tell that we were missing him a bit last week, even despite, I know it was the Cowboys, but it's just like this aura that he has. He just brings so much charisma and personality to the defense. It just gives them more of an identity than they already have. Riley Moss did a really good job. Jahdae Barron, all things considered, did a really good job. So really proud of the guy stepping up in Pat Surtain's absence, which we hope he's getting better. They did not put him on IR like we talked about in a previous video, but we'll see how that progresses going in the next few games. Raiders also, because I wanted to mention. Looking at the standings, they did lose that overtime game to the Jaguars. Literally, it took the entire overtime. They scored a touchdown at the end of overtime, but went for two, missed it, and lost the game. So my takeaway from this is that I'm hoping that the Raiders are both physically and morally kind of defeated going into a short week Thursday night game against the Broncos, where we're coming off another last second win, but we're top of the division, top of the AFC. or one of the top seeds in the AFC, at least tied. And so it feels like vibes for both franchises are very different. Now you could say, oh, Raiders are desperate, but trade deadline's tomorrow, so we'll be past that by the time Thursday Night Football comes around. So the Raiders know they're not going to be a playoff team, and it's time for the Broncos to really, take control and take advantage of a Raiders team that really has lost all sense of control and really has been, bottom dwellers for a while now. So anyway, that's the side of looking forward. But in terms of the Texans game, listen, not pretty by any stretch. The offense, once again, I think a lot of Broncos fans are getting used to this. And it's very similar as to like the Tebow years where it was, or the Tebow mania, where it was like bad for 3 quarters and then amazing for the fourth quarter. It's weird. Like Bo's, like I think his passer rating in the fourth quarter is like 113 or something. It's really good. It's just you wish that he would be able to, be able to do that more consistently. It feels like he started using his legs more in the fourth quarter. Sometimes it feels like he breaks the pocket a bit too early. There's, like he's trying to set his feet, but also he's like better throwing on the run sometimes. It's really, really bizarre. I think Sean Payton and him are still working at the kinks. And listen, you'd rather them work out the kinks during wins than losses. And it's exciting times to be 7-2. I didn't think that we would be here, honestly, when we were sitting at 1-2 at the beginning of this year. I felt like we didn't know how to. We were talking about, like, does this team know how to win games? Well, they sure figured out how to do it. This is a winning football team. They have, and I was talking to my family about this, about just the fact that, like, listen, if you want a quarterback that's good in one quarter, it's the fourth quarter, because there's a lot of guys who don't know how to finish games and don't know how to close things out. Now, obviously, you would prefer a guy who could play all 4 quarters, but football, it's a messy sport, man. You're not always going to get what you want. We did have a complete game last week. I would argue Bo's best game against, again, a pretty bad Dallas defense, but at the same time, you got to play who's in front of you. And in this case, this was the other best defense in the league. Didn't look great, but until it did at the end, also amazing touchdown pass to Courtland Sutton. Was it the first or second? I think it was second quarter over Stingley. That was a beautiful ball. And then obviously the RJ Harvery drive at the beginning of the fourth quarter where we had another touchdown pass to him. And then it became kind of a field position battle, a lot of punts. But it turned out Bo made the winning play in the end. And it was, I'm just really proud of him because that was.
Instead of it just being weakness and talent.
Sorry for the lack of sound there, but yeah, that play where Bo scrambled around, it was like a 30-yard run to get us into field goal range. Then J.K. Dobbins had got another 9 to 10 yards, and then Bo had another scramble that made it a chip shot essentially. Really, really good execution down the stretch, and just with no time left, kicked the game winner, walked off the field once again. Winners. I think the leadership, I think the intangibles that everyone's working with, just everyone trusts each other. They're playing for each other. It's great stuff. You love to see it, and I'm just really, really proud of this group. Sean Payton, in terms of talking about Dre Greenlaw and his impact, said that Greenlaw brings toughness, a competitiveness. It's hard to put on paper. He's extremely physical. He plays with such good pad level and leverage. He's a great tackler. It's good to have him in the lineup. It was tough waiting and making that decision, but hindsight, it was worth it. He's talking about the fact that we had to put him on IR earlier this season and have him just fully heal. But now that he is back, he was even out last week because of that stupid suspension. But now that he is fully back, oh my gosh, is he just a beast. He is awesome. Linebacking wise, we needed it, and he is showing up big time. Just such a huge acquisition for the Broncos. But then Bo just talking about just overall the mentality of the Broncos and winning these ugly games and how this is all working out for us. He said, this is a good win streak. We've won in many different forms and fashions, but for right now, the ugly wins are how we're doing it. The ugly wins, they are important down the stretch. If you can find them and you can win these one-possession games, it helps you in the future. In the postseason, they're one-score games. You got to learn how to win those. Obviously, we need to improve in many areas, though. So, listen, Bo is both being very accountable, but also, like, listen, we're here to, like, make, strides in all areas. We want to win blowout games. We also want to win the close games. These tough defenses. How do we perform in the stretch down at the end of the games? And how can we outpace these guys? Listen, we always say on this channel, It's a marathon, not a sprint, and that applies to games and seasons as a whole. Just outpace them. Listen, you'll get hit in the mouth a lot at the beginning, but can you push back? Can you fight back? And they're showing that they can. We were worried that they weren't going to be able to at the beginning of the season, but Bo is proven to be one of the best clutch quarterbacks in the league right now. His scoring and passing is just tremendous in the clutch, and that's just exactly what you want out of your franchise quarterback. But in terms of just the offensive output in the fourth quarter, a bit of this is kind of what we've been seeing from the Broncos. Maybe not in the fourth quarter, but just in general. Like it's touchdown, then punt, 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 field goal to win the game. And that was all in the fourth quarter. But then that was possessions from both teams. The defense doing what they needed to do. That we gave them 4 possessions, but we're holding them to basically no yardage in almost every time. Just really outstanding. I mean, I think the Denver defense proved it once again. They are the best in the league, and man, these guys are special. I just can't say enough about them. And then Bo Nix, after Week 9, excluding Monday Night Football, has 1,976 passing yards, top 10 in the NFL, 17 passing touchdowns, tied for 3rd in the NFL, 20 total touchdowns, tied for 2nd in the NFL. Listen, I mean, the stats are there. He is looking really good. Look at Trey Greenlaw firing Bo Nix up. I love that. The last time the Broncos have won 6 straight games, we won the Super Bowl with Peyton Manning in 2015. Eerily similar vibes, I would say. Like, this team just complements each other really well. They trust each other really well. The leaders don't get disparaged when things aren't going well. The coach seems to have a lot of faith in his players executing, even when it's like, listen, is it 4th down? Let's just punt it, let our defense get another stop and get the ball back with good field position. And that's what we're doing. And that's just such good football in terms of like, oh my gosh, we can trust our defense to make a stop. And it's just really exciting. And we did this without Pat Surtain. It's really impressive. I think that obviously there's a lot to learn from in terms of, okay, going up against good defenses, can we start stronger? Can we not put ourselves in holes? Like, obviously, there was a bit of a comeback that the Broncos needed to have. They were down 12-7 at halftime and then ended up being down 15-7 going into the fourth quarter. They got a touchdown to RJ Harvery, then the 2-point conversion to Troy Franklin. But, it's weird. I had a sense of calm during this game. I was a little nervous towards the end when we had to punt it back to them at the end, but I also trusted the defense. They keep delivering. And we have the Raiders on Thursday. I'm hoping we can just get a good division win then. But then it's the Chiefs. And that's where things will get very, very interesting to see if we can extend our lead in the division or, it'll get even tighter. We will see, but I am tasting revenge in terms of that blocked field goal. I think all of us have that on our minds. We should have won that game, and it feels good this Monday to have this win. Listen, the question is for you guys, how are you feeling about this team? Are you concerned about this offense and being able to perform in, just a full capacity in a full game, in the playoffs? Do you think that this team has what it takes to, just keep winning throughout the rest of the season, beating the Chiefs? Or beating the Chargers? Can they get over that hump? Because that's just kind of the last thing that the Broncos really need to do is in terms of taking back the West is beating, the Chiefs and their starters and as well as the Chargers. Injuries don't matter. You got to win and beat who's in front of you. We got a lot of interesting games coming up. We need to sweep the Raiders. We need to beat the Jaguars. There's a lot of games that just are must wins because the Chiefs are never going to let up. Despite them losing to the Bills, we have to keep our foot on the gas, and I don't see them not doing that. It'll be really interesting in these next 2 games before we go to the bye, which will be very, very well-timed after a Chiefs game. So anyway, very excited, very, very just thrilled to be, again, 6-game win streak, one of the longest that we've had in a long time. And but yeah, let me know what you're thinking about this team. How are you feeling about the defense? How are you feeling about the offense? How are you feeling about Bo? How are you feeling about Sean's play calling? That's another question that's kind of like been thrown around. Is Sean still kind of failing Bo in the sense of not playing towards his strengths? Let's run Bo more. Let's run J.K. Dobbins more. These guys are weapons, and it feels like we only use them sparingly in terms of their strengths. So anyway, again, I know I keep saying this, but I am curious to hear what you guys have to say. But until the next video, we'll see you guys then.